everyone, welcome to Shell's Sugar Rush. Welcome back if you've been here before. Today we're going to be making this tasty little treat, some caramel apples and some extra caramel. So if you've ever been to a fair, a county fair growing up, you've probably taken one of these home or even eaten one there. And I'm going to show you today how simple they are to make. So if you like treats like this, stick around and join me. And don't forget, if you haven't already, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you will be notified when I upload more treats like this. So let's make some caramel apples. Okay guys, so you want to start with some big, beautiful Granny Smith apples, and I'm starting with a pot of boiling water, and I'm just going to dip these in the water for just a couple seconds and wipe them real good just to get some of that wax off. It's just real quick. You want to just dip them and wipe it pretty vigorously to make sure they're good and clean and anything that may be on there comes off, and as well as that wax coating. There we go. And you can feel the difference after you dip it. So let's go ahead and throw a couple in there. Okay, so those are done. I'm going to go ahead and put my sticks in the apples, and then I'm going to pop them in the freezer for about 30 minutes or so while we make the caramel. So that the apples will be cold and our caramel will set a little faster on them. So I just have some little bamboo treat sticks. I think these are about 4 inches, and you may prefer a 6-inch stick. They're all going to eat the same way, so I'm going to just pull these out and put an apple right down in the center there, and I always try to get them as straight as possible. And you want to get them in there really good. That way when you're dipping, you don't have to worry about your stick falling or coming out, or your apple falling off the stick. So just take a little time to do this, and sometimes it needs a little help going in. These feel pretty easy going in, so that's a good thing. So anyway, get all the sticks in and pop these in the freezer, like I said, for about 30 minutes, and we'll make some caramel. Okay, there we go. So off to the freezer. Okay, so for our caramel, you're going to need 2 sticks of butter, and I'm just gonna put them in a saucepan. So we're gonna go ahead and melt our butter. And of course I have a spatula just for stirring. Some people like to use a wooden spoon. Unfortunately I don't own one, so I'm going to be using my spatula, and you'll also want to have a thermometer handy as well. Okay? And while that's melting, I'm going to go ahead and grab a pan and some liner for it. And also just coat it with a little bit of butter, just to ensure our apples don't stick once we put them on there. Okay. So we're going to go ahead to our melted butter. We're going to add 2 cups of light brown sugar, 1 cup of light corn syrup. Just want to add that on in there. And then we're going to also add 1 can of sweetened condensed milk. And you just want to mix that up real well. And at this point you will want to continue just stirring, because you definitely don't want to burn your caramel. And you'll want to heat this till you get to what's called the softball stage, which will be 235 to 240. You want to make sure you get to that stage because you want that softball stage to coat the apples with a soft coating of caramel. We're going to keep stirring until we get it to boiling and bring it up to the temperature that we need. And you definitely want to continue stirring. Because it's very, very easy to burn this, especially on the bottom. And if you don't have a thermometer, that's okay. You can always grab a cup of water and just put a drop of your caramel into the water. And if it forms a soft ball that you can roll around between your fingers, then you know you're at that softball stage. Okay, guys, we are to our softball stage. So at this point, we're going to take our caramel off of the heat, and then once it settles down a little bit, we'll add in our vanilla. So let's go ahead and add in some vanilla, and we're going to put just about 2 teaspoons, sorry. And just stir that in real good. It's going to bubble, that's okay, that's normal. Now we're going to let it cool down just a bit. The perfect dipping temperature is said to be about 190 degrees. So we're going to let it cool down just a little bit before we start dipping our apples. Okay guys, so our caramel has cooled down a little bit. We're probably around 200. And I've got our apples back for dipping. And if you did put yours in the freezer, like I prefer to do, you just want to kind of give it a quick, just a quick wipe to make sure there's no condensation on it, okay? So we are going to just kind of tilt our pan and dip and roll. And I like to leave a little space at the top just because I want someone to be able to see what kind of apple they're eating when they get one. You know, sometimes you may have a mixture of different kinds in there. So turn it upside down for a second, and then I'm gonna just plop that right there. Okay, here we go. Okay, you guys, so our apples are done. I'm glad I had some leftover caramel because I want to make some caramel cheesecakes later. So I will save this. I'm going to pour it in a jar and close it up, and then I'll warm it back up later when I make my cheesecakes. But you can also take some parchment paper. If you have leftover caramel and you just want to make some caramels, you can take some parchment paper and pour it out on the parchment paper and just to about a ½ inch thick, and then just fold it up. And of course you'll want to just brush the parchment paper with some butter first, but just fold up your parchment paper and close it up and just put it away, and then you'll have some soft caramel chews for later. Okay guys, so our caramel apples are done as far as we're going with them today, and of course our extra caramel is cooling down now, and you can see how simple this tasty treat is to make, and most people do enjoy these. If you make some, make sure you let me know in the comments, and if you enjoyed the video, make sure you hit the thumbs up button. If you haven't already subscribed, also hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you'll be notified when I upload more tasty treats like this. See you next time.